Hello, let's go over how to sew the elastic to the bottom of the bralette in the Luna Loungewear set. I have my elastic cut and sewn into a loop. To do that, just overlap the ends and zigzag stitch them down. They're overlapped by 1/2 inch. And I've found my quarter points. So to do that, fold your elastic in half at the cut edge and then put a clip right here. That's your halfway point. And then you line up your clip with the place where you sewed the elastic together, fold it in half, and then you found your quarters. You need to also find the quarter points on the bottom of the bralette. Your side seams act as the first set of quarter points. Take your side seams, match them up, fold the front and back in half, and mark. So now you have your quarter points marked. We're going to take our elastic. I like to line up the seam with a side seam. So just clip it in place or use pins, whichever you prefer, and match up the other points. I'm putting this on the right side of my bralette. If you are sewing the shelf bra, the built-in bra option on the cami or the nightie of this pattern, you would be pinning your elastic to the inside of the bralette. But since I'm sewing an individual bra here, it's going to go on the outside. So just like that. If you're using plush back elastic, your plush back will be up, and then the right side of your fabric is there, because when we flip this over to the inside, you want that plush to be against your skin. So now we're going to sew this in place. All right. I like to start at the side seam. We're going to use a zigzag stitch, and we're going to be sewing right along this edge of the elastic. My zigzag stitch is a 3.5 width and a 5 for the length here. Just going to sew a couple stitches first to get it anchored into place. And now we need to stretch our elastic to fit the width of the hem. So just gently stretch the elastic. You don't want to stretch your fabric. You're only stretching just far enough so that the elastic matches the length of the hem. My stitch was shorter than intended. All right, now we're on a roll. Okay, we're just going to work our way around here. You want to make sure that the edge of your elastic stays lined up with that cut edge of your fabric as you go. Just work in sections. So there's our first step. See, the elastic is attached to our bra. Now we're going to fold the elastic over into the inside. So we can turn this inside out Make that a little bit easier. Clip it in place. Just clipping it right along this fold helps keep the fabric lined up as we sew the next step. Alright, now we're going to attach the elastic to the inside. So we're going to be sewing right along this edge. And again, we're going to be stretching the elastic as we sew so that our fabric is nice and flat. Using the same zigzag stitch that I did before with a 3.5 width and a 5 length. It may vary for your machine. Just sew some on some scraps to determine what you like best for yours. As you go around, you want to make sure that your cami, or your bra, I'm sorry, is flat and not puckering up on the bottom or folding. And just like before, just work in sections. There is the elastic attached. And there we go. If you like, you can sew an additional zigzag stitch along this edge to keep that from bubbling up. But if you're sewing the bralette, it's not a must. On either the bralette or the hidden, but I'm going to go ahead and do it to really secure that elastic on the cut edge, or on the folded edge. Again, I'm stretching the elastic as I sew so that our fabric is flat. There we go. That is how you sew the elastic to the bralette on the Luna Loungewear.